This year for my coursework, I decided to make a trailer for a horror/thriller film. For my ancillary task, I made a film poster as well as a horror magazine front cover displaying the film. There are many codes and conventions of trailers. Although all trailers are different due to their genres and basic storyline, they generally stick to a list of conventions that have been tried and tested over the years to lead to a successful trailer if followed. Trailers have evolved and changed over the years due to changes in the audience preferences and advancements in technologies, thus leading to more impressive media text. Usually at the start of a trailer, the production company who produced the film will show their logo. This is in order to improve the reputation of their own company and keep audiences interested. For example, if the production company I created, Nightsight Productions, were to produce another film, their logo will draw in the attention of audience members who may have seen other films by the company and will henceforth be more enticed to watch another film by them. Showing the production logo will also give people an idea of what type of film the trailer is trying to sell. For example, a trailer that displays the Pixar logo will immediately show the audience it is going to be a family-friendly animated film, whereas my logo would show the audience going to be a horror film. The film title is something that is shown in every trailer, typically at the end of it, so that you see it after your interest in the film is already developed, making it more likely to remember. The front colour and backdrop are all huge signifiers of what type of genre it is. For example, for Shrek's trailer, they used a bubbly green font against the background. The font used is very light-hearted because of the bright colour and comedic ears placed on the S, whereas my title is evidently horror due to the dark background and rugged font. The red against the black resembles blood. A more modern convention of film trailers is to display a website's URLs or Twitter hashtags or various social media accounts fans can follow or like in order to keep updated with information on the film. This is largely due to the increasing impact social media can have on marketing films. If someone becomes interested when watching a trailer, they will then know where they can go to find out more and perhaps even discuss the film with other fans on that platform. I did this on my trailer at the end when the release date is shown. Audiences get pleasure from films by connecting and relating to characters. Therefore, character introductions are an important feature in film trailers. For example, if there is a prominent older female character, people from the target audience who are female and older may connect with that character and be more likely to go and see this film. Although I followed the conventions of character introductions, I did not want to introduce them entirely due to the fact most of the cast will be killed off throughout the film. I wanted to hide parts of the character's personality as well from the audience in order to make seeing the film more exciting and less predictable. Furthermore, the choice of music for a trailer is a key feature. It can often make or break film trailers. There are often multiple different songs used in a trailer to help set the pace for what is happening on screen at that point. I followed this convention by using 3 different songs, the first being a more slow and emotional song to start the trailer off. The second then helped speed up the pace around the middle of the trailer, and finally the last song was a very intense and heavy instrumental that I found on a royalty-free website. This went well with the action that was happening on screen. It helps add to the carnage. I also used a voiceover at the start of the trailer which helped guide the audience through the film's plot as well as help depict what the film will be about. I used both an external voiceover which was added on top of the footage.
The only thing that's more dangerous than someone nothing to lose is someone who stands to lose everything.
As well as sections of dialogue from the actual film.
Holy shit, they're coming!
The release date is essential for attracting a large audience to the opening night of a film release. The release date is shown on trailers a couple of weeks before the film is released, giving them time for a wide audience to have seen it, but close enough to the date that people can plan to see it soon, rather than forgetting about it by the time the date comes around. Much like many other trailers, I decided to show the release date at the end of the trailer after the title, so that the trailer grabs the audience's attention and then gives them the information they need to go and see it. On top of this, the last few seconds of the trailer show the title, the fact that it will be in IMAX 3D, and finally the release date. I made the text change to the next one in time with the music to gain maximum impact. Name captions are also important for trailers, as an audience can go and see a director, actor or producer which they are either fans of or aren't. Directors like Quentin Tarantino will have their own filming styles, and by having their name on the trailer, it allows the audience to decide whether or not they'll like the style of the new film based on previous experience. However, I wanted to break this convention, as the trailer I made is from an independent film company with a very small following. Name captions are only effective if the audience will recognise the name. Finally, the length of the trailer can vary depending on what type of trailer it is. Usually a film will have more than one trailer made, with different sections of the film edited together. The official full trailer is what I made, typically lasts between 1.5 minutes to 2 minutes. I stuck with this convention, that often, especially in horror, action or thriller films, they have shorter 10-second trailers which help build hype and will show a shorter clip which may or may not have the film title shown on. Film posters are a form of promotion just like a film trailer. However, though it is a physical piece rather than a digital piece, it can be used to promote the film in a much larger range of places such as billboards, bus stops, buses, underground stations, and of course in the cinema. The poster's aim is to catch people's eye in order for them to read the information on the poster and then make an informed decision about whether or not they want to see the film. Film posters must effectively portray their genre to the audience through the use of colour, imagery and font. The film poster below is for another zombie film called Rise of the Zombie. From the first glance, the viewer can immediately tell it's a horror film. The use of blood on the poster shows that the film will be violent and most likely gory, whereas the poster for We're the Millers is clearly a comedy and far from a horror. The yellow font and blue background create a much happier vibe. However, both posters, despite their different genres, all show the viewer various characters from the film, which is a typical convention of movie posters. I followed this convention as I wanted the audience to be aware of who stars in the film, as well as possibly attracting an audience who would feel as though they can relate to the characters from the poster. Film posters will always contain a main image, which is what will catch people's eye. These can either be stills from the film or character shots, though they will always contain some type of iconography in order to reveal the film's genre and other aspects of the film. They often convey the narrative of the film or give clues as to what the plot could be about. Film posters will nearly always have the title of the film shown on it. This is because if they did not, it would be very hard for people to find out more information about the film. Though there are a few exceptions for this, usually because the film is so well known it doesn't need the title. For example, the final Harry Potter poster did not feature the title of the film, but just said, "It all ends," followed by the release date. The people who distributed the poster for this film were able to take this risk with the final Harry Potter film, as their target audience would have most likely have seen the previous 7 films and therefore would not need the title there for them to know what it is. This is hugely impactful as it shows how recognisable the film is and thus does not need to be shown on the poster. Typically, the font used for the title of the film is the biggest and boldest piece of text on the page. My film poster sticks to the typical conventions of film posters by showing the name as my film is not part of a series of films and henceforth does not have the same mass audience who have invested their time in the series. Directors, producers and actors are usually displayed, especially if the director and producers are well known and are the main selling point of the film. As there is no big name director or producer involved in the film, it is not displayed as visibly as if there was a big name involved. These are two of the magazine covers from real magazine front covers that I've actually looked at and analysed myself. As you can see, both of them have big red bold titles that show the name of the magazine. They're both at the top of the page, and in capital letters with a red colour. Down the left side of both pages, on the Scream magazine, there's circles with people's faces in, showing what else is going to be featured in the magazine, while the Empire magazine has something similar but without the pictures. They've got The Hobbit, Indy 4, Natalie Portman versus Scarlett Johansson, and There Will Be Blood. Moreover, they both got the barcode. The Hellboy's down on the bottom left, and with Scream it's on the right, on the left. Under the title of the film, it states that there'll be people talking about in the interview on the Evil Dead Scream magazine. For both, the majority of the page is filled with a picture of the subject. For the Evil Dead one, it's a zombie from the film, grabbing the reader attention, as it is something we would not see in day-to-day life. Again, the big picture on the Empire one takes up the majority of the page, is of Hellboy himself. He's striking a bold pose while staring right at the camera. On the Empire one on the side, there's a little circle that will attract a different kind of audience. It's a lot smaller, so it isn't the first thing you see. However, it's bold enough for people to realise after looking at the cover for long enough. It says 40 movies that will get you sex. So this is obviously going for a different kind of audience. Okay, this is the poster that I made. The magazine front. This is the magazine front cover that I made. I've got the font up the top. I made that myself. I wanted to have a gory, bloody type font. However, I didn't want to use red, which is often used for horror magazines, as I thought this would lead to too much red happening on the page. So instead, I went for making my own font, and I've made it look gory and stuff using the paint tool on Photoshop. I used the bevel and emboss tool to make the letters seem more 3D, as though they're coming out of the screen. The fact that they've got blood dripping off them, and it clearly shows that it's the horror genre. Much like many other magazine covers, I wanted to make the subject take up the most space on the screen. Therefore, I've got the picture of Daniel turned into a zombie bang in the centre of it, with everything else going on around that. That draws the viewer's attention to the subject, which is the most important image on the page. The top right corner of the page has the issue number. This shows regular readers what issue they're buying. Underneath Real Gore, it says March 2016, which again is just for people to, maybe in the future after buying the magazine, they can look back and immediately know when this was released.